All right, guys, so next one is about hair loss. Why does it happen first off, and how to prevent it? So let's talk about natural remedies for hair loss, also drugs, and why you should or should not mess with them. So first, let's go over why it happens, and I'll let Rick come in because Rick has some natural solutions to help you guys out. So guys, when as we get older, the longer, your body's producing testosterone. You use steroids, anabolic steroids, which are androgens, which metabolize into dihydrotestosterone, which is DHT, and then your body naturally produces testosterone when you're off steroids, which also metabolize into dihydrotestosterone, DHT. Now, DHT is not a bad thing. It's not our enemy, but too much of it, especially over time, and if you're genetically prone, will have effects on both your prostate and your head hair follicles. Basically, that DHT will fry your head hair follicles, and then your hair will fall out. That's why as people get older, they start losing their hair. And then as people abuse steroids, they start losing their hair. Like all these guys on social media who claim, hey, I'm natural, or they claim, they don't use steroids, or they claim they just use a little steroids and they're all bald. Well, they got bald from abusing steroids. That's kind of sped things up. But of course, you can go bald from not using steroids as well. So do steroids increase hair loss? Absolutely. It will affect it. I myself, when I use Tren plus Winstrol together, I could grab my hair, okay, and I have a full head of hair. I could grab my hair and then look down, and I have a bunch of hair on my hand. It was that bad. So certain steroids are worse for hair. Tren, Winstrol, a lot of the DHT derivative steroids that are out there, they're really bad for hair. I'd say the more mild steroids like Deca, maybe a little bit of Primo, a little bit of EQ, those will kind of be gentle on the hair. So, what do we do? What are some natural remedies? I'm going to let Rick talk about the natural remedies, and then after I'm going to tell you why you should be very careful if your doctor suggests some of these DHT blocking drugs.
I went bald around 25. Not really bald. My crown got really, really shiny. And this is, years before I started my own company, and I wasn't as versed on the chemicals as I am today. So when I got that little shine up there at the crown, I just cut it all down and rocked the baldy. My head's nice and round, nice shaped. And I was kind of happy to just rock a little bit of stubble all around and not have to deal with, dealing with my hair and whatnot. Back then, it was a lot harder to get Nizoral and minoxidil. Today, it's real easy to get Nizoral and minoxidil. But if you're worried about your hair, if you haven't given up on the fight, Nizoral is a good shampoo. Use it. I think 1% you get over the counter. I would definitely use it along with N2 shampoo. That's my product from N2BM. And that one has caffeine in it with emu oil. I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. It's pretty unique. And also treatment when you're not in the shower for leave-in is minoxidil. These are all things that'll help the cause of basically just blocking the androgens out of the hair follicles, which when the androgens attach to the androgen receptors in the cells on the hair follicles, well, they starve out the cell basically, and the hair gets thinner, and it drops. So, using a minoxidil, Nizoral here and there, it's helped me maintain my stubble. Now I'm about to hit 40 next year, and it's going away little by little. I was just prone to it. It's just in the genetics, and that's what's just going to happen. I'm sure the steroids sped it up a little bit, but the things that help me keep a little bit of a darker stubble in my body there were basically those three items. N2 shampoo came much later, obviously. That product we didn't release until about 2014. But Nizoral and minoxidil, before they, you had to underground them a little bit. Minoxidil was prescription for a while, but now you can pick it up at Costco. Nizoral shampoo, pretty easy to find too, I think, at most pharmacies in most states. And N2 shampoo. N2 shampoo's got the caffeine in it. There are some good studies on caffeine helping to keep androgens out of the hair follicles. So there's some good studies on it. And I would love to just say that my product is the only shampoo with caffeine in it out there, but it's caught on ever since we released the product. It's caught on the other shampoos out there with caffeine, but they don't have the same ingredients we have. We use some transdermal technology in our product to make sure that you're getting that caffeine in there. Some of these other places are more mainstream and they're, they I guess they put it in more fermentation, but now we use emu oil, a couple other things in there to make sure that that you get that caffeine nice where you need it. So that's been a good product that a lot of people really enjoy and report back having really good results with. So those are the three things, man. Just treat right at the scalp. And I guess Steve will have some suggestions on the drugs to just prevent the conversion to the stronger, the hydro hormones, right?
Yeah, so there are a couple drugs. The main one, finasteride, which you might know as Proscar or Propecia, and then dutasteride. But finasteride is the one that you hear most on forums, most popular one. And the way that the drug works is a 5A reductase inhibitor. So it's an anti-androgen, and it's going to decrease the production of DHT by about 70-80% in both your prostate gland and the scalp. So doctors they'll prescribe that for people who have a large prostate, and then you'll see some doctors also kind of prescribe it for people who need help with their head hair. Now, on the surface, it might seem like, wow, this is a good idea, but here's the problem with it. Number one, if you're using a DHT derivative steroid, like let's say you're using Winstrol, it's not going to help you with that, because since it is a 5A reductase inhibitor, it's going to decrease the DHT production. It's going to help with that, prevent that metabolization. So the problem is Winstrol is a straight DHT derivative. So you're getting it. It's going to kind of pass through that. So it's not going to help you with that. And then the second problem is, why would you want to crush your DHT levels in your body? DHT is our sex hormone. DHT has a lot of properties. Will it affect your libido, your sex drive, your ability to get an erection? Absolutely. And we see that. There's something called finasteride syndrome. You guys can Google it. There's thousands of stories, of horror stories from guys who've used finasteride because their doctor put them on that for hair loss or for prostate, and they have problems even getting an erection years later. And it's a major, major problem. So remember, DHT is not our enemy, guys. So instead of doing that, instead of taking a drug to take a drug to take a drug to take a drug, you just have to be smart when you cycle steroids. Keep the cycles short, keep the cycles conservative. And if you're prone to hair loss, you're going to want to avoid the harsher steroids that fuck up your hair, like the ones I mentioned, the Trend, the Winstrol, DHT derivative compounds, the more harsher steroids, and stick to the more mild ones. And that's the best option. I use N2 shampoo. Rick mentioned that one. That's been a lifesaver for me, because these shampoos that they sell in the store did absolutely nothing for me. The N2 shampoo makes my hair stronger. It also helps a lot with the itchiness that I get, on my scalp, a very itchy scalp. So it's been a godsend for me using it. So I use that daily. So I highly recommend picking that up and giving that one a shot.
Yeah, when I started to get that shine on the crown, I just that's it. I'm done. I wasn't going to brush my hair any weird way or have like a hairdo where I'm trying to make it look like I don't have it. Just fuck it. Just rock the baldy, and that's it. It's been part of my persona now, my baldy, since my mid-20s. That's just my thing on it. I wasn't just going to be one of these guys holding on to that little piece in the front and brushing it and, trying to make it look full and all these weird things. I didn't even really like doing my hair when I had a lot of it. As a teenager, I had just this thick, luscious, dark hair. Just didn't like messing with it much. And it was like not the most entertaining part of my day. So as soon as I had the excuse to just go bald, I just did. And haven't looked back since, man. I was just fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, some people, some women like bald men, but some women absolutely do not. And it definitely does make you look older when you're bald. So, but like I said, guys, I mean, everyone's different. Some people can really sport a bald look. Some people don't. So it really just boils down to, your preference. So nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all.
I got a
Rick,
nice round shape. Yeah, I think I don't think my hair, I don't think I ever really got the hang of how to really style my hair. And then when I went to a bowl head, it just nice round head. I'm fine, dude.